Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw.
Welcome back to another Add These 5 Pickups on Breaking Brews. As usual, I am Commander Claw here bringing you some more fun cards you should add to your Rendmaw Creaking Nest. If you don't know, he's actually super popular. I actually underestimated this Golgari Commander Scarecrow for all those Scarecrow tribal commander deck builders out there. I don't know how you're doing it because I don't know if there's enough scarecrows to make a scarecrow tribal. But anyways, I'm trying to give you some more cards to add to your deck as you go wide with this Golgari monster. It's got to be pretty cool. And it's a perfect commander for the Halloween season. Let me get right into the card. It's a 5/5 body scarecrow, 3 and a black and a green legendary artifact creature. I'm about to go to the next slide so it's bigger for you to read while you're on your YouTube, phone, tablet, or even on your TV screen. Now, make sure you don't underestimate him because he has menace. He has reach. A creature has reach. That means they can block a creature with flying. So all those crows you're about to make, you can block them. Actually, they're not even attacking you because they are goaded. Anyways, I'm jumping ahead. Anyway, the ability says when Rendmaw Creaking Nest enters, and whenever you play a card with 2 or more card types, each player creates a tap 2/2 black bird creature token with flying. The tokens are goaded for the rest of the game. That means they attack each combat if able and attack a player other than you if able. So that means you're making 2/2 crows. I call them crows. Just deal with it. Crows, ravens, birds. You know what we're doing here. They gotta attack all your opponents. Every time you make these crows, ravens, they gotta attack your opponents. They cannot attack you, and they come in tapped. So that means your opponents are open for an opportunity to get hit. So what are we gonna do? Let me introduce the first card as you build an army. All right, the first card I got for you is a 3 mana instant called Fog of War. It says you gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures with power 3 or less. This is a fog mechanic, fog effect. Okay. If you're new to the game, fogs are preventing all damage. It's an instant. But anyway, all those crows and ravens that you made, you get to gain 1 life for each one on the battlefield. That includes your opponent's and yours. And you get to prevent damage. Now, you're not worried about the crows attacking you because they are goaded and they can't attack you. But you can use this card to save another opponent from an attack because most likely their crows are only 2/2s. So that means those 2/2s are power 3 or less and they can't deal damage this turn. So only big creatures can go through. So this card is good. It's tactical, I would like to say. And you can change the outcomes of combat. So I got another card that is similar. What could that be? It is Blunt the Assault. It's the better version for 4 mana, a little bit more expensive. It's an instant. You gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. So you could use this uh, to block all those big boy creatures and the crows that is coming at you or your opponents. These are things you must consider. So, 4 mana, better version. May not be in your range of mana, but why not? Anyway, we're going to move to the mid game here. I got another card for you. This should be number 4. Ooh. No, no, no. Sorry, number 3. Okay, this card is Body Count for 3 mana. It's an instant. It has the Spectacle ability. It says tap 1 black mana. You may cast a spell for a Spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. So, remember, this is really good because sometimes opponents tap mana rocks that deal 1 damage to themselves, and that counts if they lost life. Or maybe somebody got hit with a burn spell, like a lightning bolt, and you get to cast this card for a spectacle cost this turn. There's so many opportunities to this for the spectacle cost, so don't be afraid of it. It happens. The ability says draw a card for each creature that died under your control this turn. So let's say, the first scenario I'm thinking is somebody board wipes. Somebody's gonna try to board wipe because you're making a lot of crows and they're on everybody's board. So the amount of creatures you got on your side, if they get victimized from the board wipe, you get to draw that many cards. 3 crows, 3 creatures. Oh, plus your commander, that's 4 creatures total. 4 cards. For only 1 mana, possibly. The best scenario. That's a steal. Anyway, moving on to the next card. If you have your commander on the battlefield. Like I said, if you have your commander on your battlefield, you will want to play this card. This card is Loyal Guardian for 5 minutes, a 4/4 Rhino. It has trample, but it has the lieutenant ability. It says at the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. You know why I stopped for a second? Because your crows become 3/3s, 4/4s. Every time your commander's sitting out there pretty on the battlefield. Can't be stopped. Your opponents hate you making all these crows and playing these dual uh types, two land, dual types to get the ETB effect from Crenshaw. Crenshaw. That's a funny name, Crenshaw. That should be his nickname. Hey, comment below what kind of nickname you give this creature, your commander. I'm starting to call him Crenshaw. Let me know if you like that. Anyway, this is just the build up for an overrun effect, which I'm going to lead to next. Okay, y'all. So we got King Harald's Revenge. For 3 mana, it's a sorcery. It's actually from one of my favorite sets, Kaldheim. It says until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control and gains trample. It must be blocked this turn if able. I think a lot of players underestimate the ability of it must be blocked this turn if able. The reason why I believe this is good because this is like a one-sided board wipe. If you have a very powerful, strong creature or a creature that has enough power and it has death touch, that means you get to wipe out all the blockers that an opponent blocked with. And this card forces them to block. So that you can block with more than one creature. So what I'm trying to say is if you are swinging with one creature and your opponent has 5 creatures, your opponent has to block all 5 creatures to your one. And then let's say your creature has death touch. It's going to kill at least one. Now, just playing out scenarios in my head, let's say you have a 10-5 and your opponent has 4 creatures that are 1/1s. They have to block all with 1/1s, all those 1/1s, and they all die, whether they have trample or not. The good thing about this card, it gives you trample. So those 1/1s minus 10, your opponent is taking 6 damage. It's a good card. You're going to be making a lot of creatures with those crows. So put those creatures to use. So when I say put those creatures to use, I'm talking about the Convoke ability. Let me introduce you to this 6/6 Ancient Imperial Sword for 7 mana. It is a dinosaur. All you dinosaur tribal people, who's not? Anyway, it has a Convoke ability. Convoke allows you to tap a creature upon casting, which pays for 1 colorless mana for this creature, or 1 mana of that creature's color. So, in essence, if you have 7 creatures, you can tap all 7 creatures and play Ancient Imperial Sword for free. Remember, you are making crows, so you will have extra creatures. Now, back to the creature, the dinosaur. It has trample, clearly. Ward 2. That's a lot. That's a lot. That is evasive, a 6/6 trampler with Ward 2. Your opponents are not going to like that. But it gets better. Ancient Imperial Heart enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters for each creature that convoked it. So if you tap 7 creatures, this bad boy is a 20/20 coming onto the battlefield with Trample and Ward 2, and you paid 0 mana for it. That is a game ender. Enough said. Let me go on to the bonus card. If you don't add this card to your deck, you are crazy. All right, so my bonus card for you, player, is Crown of Gondor. For 3 mana, it's a legendary artifact equipment. It has equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Okay, cool. You see what I've been doing on this video so far. When a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, if there's no monarch, you become the monarch. FYI, I love the monarch ability. I love it. That's one of my favorite abilities. If you don't know what monarch is, monarch says at the end step, you get to draw a card if you are the monarch. But when a player attacks you and deals combat damage to you, they become the monarch. So the monarch can be passed around. It's a crown that can be passed around. Emblem. I think it's something along those lines. Anyways, back to Crown of Gondor. It has a cost of 4, but this ability costs 3 less to activate if you're the monarch. So it can literally cost for 1, and if you have several creatures on the battlefield, if you attach this to Crenshaw, he's get +1/+1. He's already a 5/5 menace. This allows you to swing at your opponents for commander damage. Yeah, easy. Just a little side note, what you need to do is actually play this Crown of Gondor first, then cast your commander, so you can get that monarch ability. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Anyways, thank you for watching. Play. If you enjoyed this video, hopefully you're gonna hit that subscribe button so I can continue making videos and stay motivated watching my analytics sky high get blasted off to the roof because you enjoy it. Anyways, on to the next video. Should be Crenshaw, the original video that I have for him. For you new guys that haven't seen it yet, go ahead and click on it.